Jefferson County Court at Law number 2 is now in session. The court is in session on today's date of May 29th, 2024. We have two dockets. We have an announcement docket, and we have the MTRP docket that has a motion for early termination, which is scheduled at 10 a.m. First of all, I'd like to welcome everyone here to County Court at Law number 2. First case that we have on our docket is cause number 23CCC Aura 1340. Case is style of state of Texas versus Adrian Carol Joseph Paxalt.
That case is going to be a plea.
That I know.
Okay.
Said it was ready. Mr. Paxalt, your full name is Adrian Carol Joseph Paxalt.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Paxalt, would you please raise your right hand? Paxalt, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Paxalt, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Paxalt?
All right. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking, Mr. Paxalt. You were represented in your case by your attorney. What? Attorney Charlie Rojas. Mr. Rojas, how are you doing?
Doing well, Judge, thank you.
Mr. Rojas, do you waive a record in Mr. Paxalt's case?
We do, Your Honor.
State is represented in this case by Attorney Andrew Hubel. Attorney Hubel, how are you doing?
Do more, Judge, and yourself.
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. See if I can take it a while. Mr. Paxalt, I have before me a document that is titled information sheet. This information sheet was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information sheet, Mr. Paxalt, it alleges that on or about June 3rd of 2023, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed to Class A misdemeanor offense of evading arrest detention. Mr. Paxalt, do you understand what you have been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge, Mr. Paxalt, how do you plead? Guilty,
Yes.
not guilty, or no contest?
Yes.
Are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Voluntary.
And are you pleading guilty because you are guilty?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Paxalt, I also have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishment. It is also labeled as State's Exhibit number 1. Do you recognize this document?
Yes.
On page 2 of this same document, there are a set of initials on a line that's next to a box that's checked guilty. You place your initials on this document.
Yes, sir.
On page 3 of this same document, there's a signature above the line that is titled defendant. Is this your signature?
Yes, sir.
And on the next document, that's titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant? I also have before me a document on paper that is titled Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document?
Yes.
Is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant? Mr. Paxalt, before you sign and initial these documents, did your attorney, Mr. Rojas, go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir.
Did you read and understand everything that Mr. Rojas went over?
Yes, sir.
Is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge? Mr. Paxall, are you a citizen of the United States?
Stay up for states one.
Any objections?
No objection.
No objections. States Exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Mr. Rojas, you've advised and counseled Mr. Paxall. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Paxall, the attorney, Mr. Rojas, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation? Mr. Paxall, I will accept your plea of guilty. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what is the agreement?
For pleading guilty, the state is offered 15 minutes deferred with a $500 fine and 60 hours community service.
What's the court cost in this case? And Mr. Rojas, were you appointed?
I was, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Paxall, the state is offering that you serve 15 months deferred adjudicated probation. During the 15-month probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $500 plus court costs of $277. You'll be required to pay court. You'll be required to pay a probation fee of $60 a month, a urinalysis fee of $15 a month. You'll be required to pay a reimbursement fee of $15, and you'll be required to reimburse Jefferson County court-appointed attorney's fees of $250. Your total monthly installments, that is the total amount that you will be required to pay each month, is $155 each month. Will you be able to pay the $155 each month?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You will also be required to perform 60 hours of community service and adhere to the other standard terms and conditions of this probation. Now, Mr. Paxall, do you understand the state's offer? Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just? And do you accept the state's offer? Okay, Mr. Paxall, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Paxall, if you successfully complete this probationary period, this case will be dismissed. It would not result in a conviction on your record, and you may qualify for a non-disclosure. Now, Mr. Paxall, this will conclude your case. Now, regarding the non-disclosure, you can talk to your attorney about the non-disclosure because he's quite competent in those matters. Now, this will conclude your case. You're going to stand in front of a court coordinator, follow the directions of the bailiff. Once you finish following his directions, you'll be free to go, and you have a blessed day. Next case is cause number M325237. Case is style of State of Texas versus Ruben Trevino Jr.
After this one, can I have one more?
Yeah. Ruben Trevino Jr., please come forward. Mr. Trevino, your full name is Ruben Trevino Jr.?
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Mr. Trevino? Now, Mr. Trevino, your case was set for an announcement here today. I see that you don't have an attorney.
And Mr. Gilthorpe, I'm talking outside, because normally I was going next door, but he was gonna get with someone, see why they switched me over here.
Well, the judge transferred your case over here and he took Mr. Gilthorpe off of your case.
Yeah, okay.
So at this point, you don't have an attorney. Mr. Gilthorpe was appointed next door.
Okay,
Okay. Now, as a defendant in a criminal case, you have three options regarding your right to have an attorney. Number one, you can hire an attorney. Or number two, if you do not have enough money to hire an attorney, you may request that an attorney be appointed to represent you. Or number three, you may represent yourself. You can waive your right to an attorney and represent yourself. Now, if you have enough money to hire an attorney, your case will be reset to give you time to hire an attorney. If you do not have enough money to hire an attorney and you desire to have an attorney, you can request that an attorney be appointed to represent you, but you must first fill out a financial questionnaire so that the proper person can determine whether or not you qualify for an attorney. Now, if you want to represent yourself, you'll have an opportunity to talk to the prosecutors. They work for the state of Texas or the district attorney's office to see if you can work out a settlement in your case. Now, you cannot talk to them unless you first fill out a waiver, waiving your right to have an attorney. Now, you should be mindful or be aware that there's dangers to self-representation. Waiving your right to an attorney and representing yourself may result in a worse outcome for you, including your case, which may result like I said earlier, in a worse outcome for you and your case. Now, you may lose significant rights and opportunities relating to military service, possession of a firearm, housing and public benefits, child custody, immigration status for non-citizens, and employment. Now, if you choose to represent yourself, you may change your mind at any time, and you can request that an attorney be appointed to represent you. Now, we're going to give you a document that is titled Judge's Explanation of Rights to Defendants Without an Attorney. At the bottom of that document, you're going to see 5 lines to the left. If you would like to hire an attorney, then you will put your initials on the first line to the left. If you already have an attorney that you have hired, you'll put your initials on the second line to the left and the name of the attorney on the line to the right. If you'd like to have a court-appointed attorney, then you will put your name on the third line to the left. If you've already been appointed a court-appointed attorney, in this case, you put your name on the fourth line to the left and the name of the attorney on the line to the right. If you would like to waive your right to an attorney and represent yourself, you'll put your name on the fifth line to the left. Now, once you finish initialing one of the 5 lines, then you will sign your name on the bottom of the document that is titled Defendant. You will date today's date, May 29th of 2024. Miss Jackson, would you? Yeah, I can get that to him. Okay. Do you have an okay. Mr. Bailey, would you hand this to this gentleman? The document, the information that I just spoke about is on that first page. Now, the second page of that document has a waiver. Like if you're waiving your right to an attorney, you would read and sign that paper. Now, basically, on the waiver, what it says is that you have been advised of the nature of your charges against you and the dangers and disadvantages of self-representation. And your waiver is voluntarily. Voluntarily means that no one is forcing you to enter into this waiver. You're doing it of your own free will and intelligently made, meaning that intelligently means that you know what you're doing. Now, the second paragraph says, I've been advised this 29th day of May 2024 in County Court at Law number 2 of my right to representation by counsel in the case pending against me. I have been further advised that if I am unable to afford counsel, one will be appointed to me free of charge. Understanding my right to have counsel appointed to me free of charge, if I'm not financially able to employ counsel, I wish to waive that right and request the court to proceed with my case without an attorney being appointed for me. I hereby waive my right to counsel. And if that is your choice, you'll sign the second page where it says defendant, and you will date it today's date, May 29, 2024. Now, if you would like to apply for a court-appointed attorney, the third document is titled Jefferson County Affidavit of Indigence. You would have to fill out the first page of that document and half of the second page of that document. And then once you finish, the bailiff will get the paperwork from you, bring it back up here. I'm gonna call you back up, and then we'll go over that paperwork, okay? So you can have a seat out there in the gallery, or you can go back, see where you can go back and sit where you were sitting and fill that document out. And when you finish, just let the bailiff know. Okay. Next case is cause number 23 CCCR 0182, case of style of state of Texas versus David Marino. Mr. Marino, your full name is David Marino. How are you doing, Mr. Marino? I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Marino, you're represented in your case by your attorney, Charles Rojas. Attorney Rojas, how are you doing?
Doing well, Judge.
That's good. State is represented in this case by attorney Erica Porter. Ms. Porter, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Now, Mr. Rojas, what is your announcement in Mr. Marino's case?
Judge, in Mr. Marino's case, I finally have all the discovery and I have offers from Ms. Porter this morning. I just asked for a reset so I can go over all this stuff with Mr. Marino.
Well, I mean, this case is 395 days old. We don't put it on the trial docket.
Okay.
So, take it, we just go to trial. Okay. All right. Give us the trial date.
Last 15?
Okay, July 15th. So we'll know on July 15th whether or not it will be a appeal trial.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Is Destiny Williams here?
Yes, Your Honor, she's present.
Okay. Mr. Rennick?
How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Ms. Williams. Okay. Court is in session in cause numbers 24 CCCR 0836 and cause number 24 CCCR 0837. Both cases are styled the state of Texas versus Destiny Williams, Destiny L. Williams. Ms. Williams, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
How are you doing, Ms. Williams?
I'm good.
That's good, Ms. Rennick. Mr. Williams, you're represented by your attorney, Attorney Scott Rennick. Mr. Rennick, how are you doing?
I'm good, Judge. How are you, sir?
I'm doing fine, thanks for asking. Mr. Rennick, what is your announcement in Ms. Williams' case?
We have received all the discovery and we have received offers from the state. The prosecutor and I have, there's become an issue with the case regarding some information on one of the videos to a degree that the prosecutor and I have, like, we need to visit a little bit more about what's on the video. And I know that she needs to speak with some other people in her office. Judge, we would ask just if you could have one short reset.
Okay.
I do think ultimately this is not going to be a situation that's going to require any type of trial, but there are some things that we need to discuss further with the case.
Yes,
Okay.
correct, Your Honor.
Okay, yeah, this case is only 56 days old, so give us a reset date.
August 7th. Another announcement.
Yeah, we're gonna keep it on the announcement document.
And we'll be diligent, Judge. I do think that we'll have some resolution by that date.
Okay,
Okay.
and that was August 7th.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Ms. Williams, your cases will be reset August 7th, 2024. Your attorney is going to get your reset. Once you get your reset from your attorney, you're free to go. You have a blessed day. Mr. Renick, I think these are your only two cases.
But the only one, Judge.
Yeah, you're free to go as well, and
Thank
you
you,
have a
Judge.
blessed day. So. Oh. That was a dismissal. Next case is cause number M333-164, case of style state of Texas versus Mark Anthony Owens. So Owens,
He's outside.
okay.
Mark Owen? Mark Owen?
Oh, Jesus. Okay, this is cause number M333-164, case of style of state of Texas versus Mark Anthony Owens. Mr. Owens, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Mr. Owens?
Okay.
That's good, Mr. Owens. You're represented in your case by your attorney Provo. Attorney Provo, how are you doing?
I'm gonna try on.
That's good, Ms. Provo. What is your announcement in Mr. Owens' case?
We're trying to work out some type of, deal and probably will plead this morning.
Oh, okay, it's gonna be this one. Okay, I'll put a hold on it. All right.
Thank you.
All right, you could go have a seat, Mr. Owens. Next case is cause number M331-640. Case is style of state of Texas versus Camry Solari. Camry Solari.
There's no interest or a problem.
Okay, let's. Hmm? She called this morning? Oh,
She's running
yeah,
late.
she said she was running late. She called this morning. Okay, next case is cause number 23CCCR 0100 and cause number 23CCCR 0101. The case is it Patricia
Yes,
Stubbs?
sir. She's outside.
She's outside too? Patricia Stubbs. Ms. Stubbs, your full name is that Patricia? Patricia Stubbs? How you doing, Ms. Stubbs?
Good.
That's good. Now, Ms. Stubbs, you're representing your cases by your attorney, Attorney Mark Provo. And the state is represented by Attorney Andrew Hubel. Attorney Hubel, how are you doing?
Doing well, Judge.
Now, Ms. Provo, what is your announcement in Ms. Stubbs' cases?
We're, going to plead this morning on this, case.
Okay, we'll put a hold on it. Okay. Okay. Okay,
May you be excused.
yes, you may be excused. Let's see. Who else we? Let's see. Mr. Trevino, is he still working on the paperwork? You still working on? Okay. Burbank, I saw him earlier.
He was
Did I see him?
probably so.
Yeah.
He was.
Yeah.
I don't think his client is here. Client has a felony case set as well. Okay. I think everybody else have attorneys, so we have to wait for your attorneys to arrive. They may be in another court. Or to be in recess. Court is back in session in cause number M 325-237, case of South State of Texas versus Ruben Trevino. Mr. Trevino, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Trevino, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Trevino, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Trevino, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Trevino?
Thank you. Good.
Okay, are you doing good?
Good.
Okay, now, Mr. Trevino, I have before me two documents. The first document is titled Judge's Explanation of Rights to Defendants Without an Attorney. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
Is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes, sir.
Or are these your initials on the line that state you would like to apply for a court-appointed attorney?
Yes, sir.
I also have another document that is titled Jefferson County Affidavit of Indigence. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 2 of the same document, there's a signature above the line that's titled Defendant Signature. Is this your signature?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Trevino, before you sign and initial these documents, did you read the documents?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand what you read?
Yes, sir.
Is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Trevino, I read your answers. Based on your answers, you meet the eligibility requirements for the appointment of a court-appointed attorney. The attorney that will be appointed to represent you is Attorney Jennifer DeLedge. Ms. DeLedge is present in court. That's Ms. DeLedge right there. You may have an opportunity to meet and visit with her today. Now, Ms. DeLedge, would you come forward? Ms. DeLedge, this case was a case that was transferred from County Court at Law number 3.
Okay.
And this is a 2019 case. He was previously appointed Jared Gilthorpe.
Yes, sir.
And so when they transferred the case over here a few months ago, well, they removed Jared Gilthorpe off of the case. And so this case has been around the court, because of the length of this case. The court is in a posture to get this case disposed of as quickly as we can. I do know that you have to get your discovery visit with the district attorney's office. I don't know if there is, and so we're gonna give you time to do that. Now, we're gonna reset this case. We're gonna reset it for 30 days. Okay?
Yes,
And we're gonna keep it on the announcement docket. All right?
Judge.
Okay, you're welcome. You can get your reset. Okay, yeah.
I think they're.
Yeah, she's gonna get your the appointment and the reset. Okay. That's somebody that just came in. Oh, It's cause number 23 CCCR 1862. Case is titled State of Texas versus DeAndre C. Matthews. Oh, okay, he had a felony case disposed of in
Yes.
2020.
Judge, we are, going to take the state's plea. We're just waiting on a tablet.
Oh, okay. You can have a seat. I'll just put it down. Matter of fact, we can let you, I can let you use this one. But one, we got two up here and that makes three. So,
No, I gave it to.
Currently, Ms.
Peraza, here you go. Here you go.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay. Let's see, somebody else. Oh, she came in. Okay. Okay, we're gonna have to, that's gonna be an add-on, huh? That lady, no. William, what's the case number? 24. CCCR 1186. And, full name? Make sure we don't have no conflicts in it. Is that I supposed to be in there? No, okay. Look at the first name. I think there's an I, you got a dot, but not the I. That's a T? I thought that was, no, I'm saying this is what it looks like. CHESH.
I see the H too, but it's not H, it's a T.
Oh,
It's a T.
okay. It's a H, but it's not an H, it's a T. Man. But then you got, but then she got an I, she got the dot, but not the line.
The line is just connected to the T.
Oh,
You
wow.
see it's connected to the
Oh, so that's the T and it's connected to the T that makes the T look like an H.
T. All right.
Okay.
It's like, right, and cursive.
No, but
I
you
don't
can't.
miss my pen.
Oh, okay.
But I did pretty good.
H. That's a T and that's an I. Okay. And I saw the dot and I'm like, where's the line? But it's connected to the T that make the T look like an H. It's hard being a teacher. You gotta read about yeah. Let's see. It looks like that to me. Well, you change it? Don't change it yet. Let's let somebody else look at it. Okay.
Yvonne, you want to come see?
You have to stop in here, right?
No, it's not.
Tell us, show him the word. The chess, CH.
CHESH.
That's what I said too.
No.
Yeah, I just hanging there. Just each of them.
It's not me.
Oh, not, she said it's a man thing. Okay. God. Yeah. Oh, yeah, cause no, she a woman. You don't need to write it better for her.
I don't know, Keith.
Huh.
Yeah,
Your name is Chestisha? Okay, okay. Jefferson County Court at Law number 2 is back in session. The court is in session in 2 cases. Cause numbers 23 CCCR 0468 and cause number 23 CCCR 1856. Both cases are style of state of Texas versus Sean Wyatt Miller. Mr. Miller, please come forward. Mr. Miller, your full name is Sean Wyatt Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Miller, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Miller, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth so help you God? Mr. Miller, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Miller? That's good, Mr. Miller. You're represented in your cases by your attorney, Attorney Laura Barrazo. Attorney Barrazo, how are you doing?
Doing well, Your Honor, thank you.
Ms. Barrazo, do you waive a record in Mr. Miller's cases?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Miller, in cause number 23 CCCR 0468, I have before me a document that is titled Information Sheet. This information sheet was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information sheet, it alleges that you, Sean Wyatt Miller, on or about April 26th of 2023, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed to Class A misdemeanor offensive assault, family violence. Mr. Miller, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes.
And to this charge, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, no contest?
No contest.
Are you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily? And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges? Okay, Mr. Miller, I also have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments. Do you recognize this document? On page 2 of the same document, there are a set of initials, SM, on a line next to a box that's checked nolo contendere, which means no contest. Did you place your initials on this document?
Yes.
On page 3 of this same document, there is a signature above the line that is titled Defendant. Is this your signature?
Yes.
On the next document that's titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, you recognize this document. Is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant? At the top of this document, there are 2 boxes checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. You understand that statement?
Yes.
The second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. You understand that statement? I have another document on paper that's titled Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document?
Yes.
Is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant? Mr. Miller, before you sign and initial these documents, did your attorney, Ms. Barrazo, go over these documents with you?
Yes, you did.
And did you read and understand everything that she went over? Is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge? Mr. Miller, are you a citizen of the United States? State,
For stage 1.
any objections? No objection. States exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Ms. Barrazo, you advised and counseled Mr. Miller. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial? And Mr. Miller, your attorney, Ms. Barrazo, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with her representation?
Yes.
Has she provided full, effective, and competent legal representation? Mr. Miller, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I'll also find that your pleas and waivers are freely and voluntarily given. I'll also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Defense has brought up that the fines have been put in both cases, so and it's only meant to be assessed in one. So on either.
You said, okay,
From the other, I just wanted to point that out to him.
it was supposed to be zero fine on one of them. I guess you're gonna have
The
to,
second one.
the second case?
The other case, yes, sir.
Okay, all right. Now, Mr. Huber, what is the state's offer?
On the assault case, the state's offer for a plea of guilty or no contest, 1 year deferred probation with $300 fine, 40 hours community service, anger management, and the defendant will be evaluated by Spinal Top and follow any recommendations and guidelines from that evaluation.
That's correct.
What's the court cost in this case? 277.
Go sign it, please. It's one more time.
Yes.
Or smartphone. Or just-
Okay. Mr. Miller, the state is offering that you serve 1 year on deferred probation. During the deferred probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $300 plus court costs of $277. You'll be required to pay a probation fee of $6 a month, analysis fee of $15 a month, reimbursement fee of $15. You'll be required to reimburse Jefferson County Court appointed attorney's fees of $250. Your total installments. That is the total amount that you will be required to pay each month is $158 a month. Will you be able to pay the $158 each month?
Yes.
You will. Now, you will also be required to perform 40 hours of community service. You will have to attend a complete anger management class. You will have an evaluation by Spindletop and follow their recommendations. This case will run concurrent with the companion case, cause number 23CCCR 1856. And you will also be required to adhere to the other standard terms and conditions of your probation. Mr. Miller, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just? And do you accept the state's offer? Mr. Miller, I'll follow the plea bargaining agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Miller, let's see your next case. Next case is cause number 23CCCR 1856. And Mr. Miller, I have before me a document that is titled Information Sheet. This information sheet was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information sheet, it alleges that you, Sean Wyatt Miller, on or about June 21st of 2023, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of unlawfully carrying a weapon. Mr. Miller, do you understand what you have been charged with?
Yes.
And to this charge, Mr. Miller, how do you plead guilty, not guilty, or no contest? Are you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily? And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges? Mr. Miller, I also have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishment. This document was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this document is also labeled State's Exhibit Number 1. Mr. Miller, do you recognize this document?
Yes.
On page 2 of this same document, there's a set of initials on a line next to a box that's checked, NOLA contingent. The initials are SM. Did you place your initials on this document?
Yes.
On page 3 of the same document, there's a signature above the line that is titled Defendant. Is this your signature? On the next document that's titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, do you recognize this document? Is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant? At the top of this document, there are 2 boxes checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes.
And the next box that's checked states that you are waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement? I also have a document that is titled Discovery Certification. Recognize this document? Is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant? Mr. Miller, before you signed any initial these documents, did your attorney go over these documents with you? And did you read and understand everything in these documents? And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge? State, I have before me State's Exhibit Number 1. State, would you like to offer State's 1 in evidence?
Yes, sir.
No objections. State's Exhibit Number 1 will be admitted. Ms. Barrazo, you've advised and counseled Mr. Miller in this case as well. Is there any evidence that he's currently mentally incompetent to stand trial? And Mr. Miller, your attorney, Ms. Barrazo, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with her representation?
Yes.
Has she provided full, effective, and competent legal representation? Okay. Mr. Miller, I will accept, Mr. Miller, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers was freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, could you make that change on here?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, sir.
And what is the agreement?
For plea of no contest, the state has offered to rank concurrent with the previous case, 1 year deferred probation with 40 hours community service.
So, fine is waived? Is
That's
that
correct, Your Honor.
Okay. And it's running concurrent with the previous case. What's the court cause in this case? 2-6. Okay, Mr. Miller, the state is offering that you serve 1 year deferred adjudicated probation. During the 1 year deferred. The state is offering that you serve 1 year deferred adjudicated probation. During the 1 year probationary period, the fine will be waived. You will be required to pay court costs in the amount of $277. And the probation fee of $60 and the urinalysis fee the probation fee of $60 a month and the urinalysis fee of $15 a month and the reimbursement fee of $15 each month. You will not be required to pay that because you'll be paying that in the previous case. However, you will be required to reimburse Jefferson County Court appointed attorney's fees, in this case, of $50. Now, your total monthly installments in this case is $30 a month. Will you be able to pay the $30 each month?
Yes.
You will also be required to perform 40 hours of community service. This case will run concurrent with cause number 23CCCR 0468. You will also be required to adhere to the other standard terms and conditions of this probation. Now, the court, this is an unlawfully carrying a weapon case, and pursuant to Article 18.19 of the Texas Code of Criminal Procedures, that's 18.19, Section D5, the court is going to forfeit the weapon, in this case, to the Beaumont Police Department. Let's see this case. See. Forfeited to the state. Based on the circumstances surrounding the commission of this offense, that possession of the seized weapon would pose a threat to the community or one or more individuals. Okay, so we're gonna have to put that in the judgment. And that's pursuant to, the weapon is gonna be forfeited pursuant to Article 1(8), that's 18 point.
Your Honor, I need to bring something up about that. I don't know if this will make it different, but the weapon was reported stolen, and I think it was returned to the rightful owner.
Oh, so it's no weapon in the case, is that
I
correct?
don't believe so, according to the discovery.
Okay.
He purchased it on August the 5th of 2016, and it was traced back to him. And so I don't know if they're just holding on to it until this case is disposed. But he's the one that made the initial report that it was stolen.
And this would just, I mean, this would just be forfeiting his, like, his right to like his possession of it. So, I mean, it doesn't, I mean, if it's stolen, it doesn't really hurt either way.
Say that again?
I mean, if it's stolen, it doesn't really hurt either way to forfeit it, right?
Well, I just wanted to point that out because it was stolen. The report was made, it was traced back to the person that made the report that it was stolen. And so if it's being held in property to be returned to him after this case is disposed, I don't think there should be a forfeiture. That might cause issues for the actual gun owner if it's forfeited.
So it's, so the paperwork says that it's stolen.
Yes, sir. It was
Okay.
reported stolen. And it,
And they have the name of the owner?
yes, sir, there was a gun trace that was done.
Okay,
As part of the discovery, and it registered, or it was traced back to the person that reported the gun stolen. And his name is in the discovery on that gun trace.
okay. So state.
And this is from the actual Beaumont Police Department, where it shows that it was reported stolen and it was logged under that case number. And then they show that a trace was actually done. And it said the firearm was traced to a purchaser, which was Dakota Ray Duncan, which is the person that reported it stolen.
I mean, this would just be forfeiting his possessory interest in that.
Yeah, he cannot, get the
Sure.
gun back.
Okay, I just didn't want it to cause problems
Yeah.
for the actual owner of the gun if it was forfeited and given to the
Yeah, because I think,
police department.
yeah, because form said when we forfeit the weapon, it goes to the police department.
Right.
So they are, yeah,
I just, I didn't know if it would cause issues with.
yeah,
her-
but we need to make sure that, yeah, you understand that you cannot get that weapon back. Well, it's not your weapon
He doesn't
anyway.
want
I mean, it's
He doesn't
stolen. I mean, if it was you're in possession of stolen property. Okay. Okay, now, Mr. Miller. Do you understand the state's offer?
Yes.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just? And do you accept the state's offer? Okay, Mr. Miller, I'll follow the people who are in agreement that you've entered into with the state. Now, Mr. Miller, I need to read you a written admonition on ineligibility to possess a firearm or ammunition. Did you hand that to your client? And this document states as follows: in accordance with the Texas Administrative Code, section 176.1, the court hereby admonishes you of the following. Number one, you are by entry of order or judgment ineligible under Texas law to possess a firearm or ammunition. Number two, beginning now, if you possess a firearm or ammunition, it could lead to charges against you. If you have questions about how long you will be ineligible to possess a firearm or ammunition, you should consult an attorney. Number three, under Texas Penal Code section 46.013A, firearms mean any device designed, made, or adapted to expel a projectile through a barrel by using the energy generated by an explosion or burning substance, or any device readily convertible to that use. B, firearm does not include a firearm that may have as an integral part a folding knife blade or other characteristics of weapons made illegal by Penal Code Chapter 46, and that is one, an antique curio firearm manufactured before 1899, or two, a replica of an antique or curio firearm manufactured before 1899, but only if the replica used rimfire or centerfire ammunition. The statutes listed below are a starting point for ineligibility to possess a firearm or ammunition. For more information about the laws that make you ineligible to possess a firearm or ammunition, or for more information on how long your ineligibility to possess a firearm or ammunition lasts, the court recommends you contact an attorney. Code of Criminal Procedure Article 17.292, Magistrate's Orders for Emergency Protection. Code of Criminal Procedure Article 42.0131, Notice for persons convicted of misdemeanors involving family violence. Penal Code Section 46.02, unlawful carrying weapons. Penal Code Section 46.04, unlawful possession of firearm. Penal Code Section 25.07, violation of certain court orders or conditions of bond in a family violence, child abuse and neglect, sexual assault or abuse, indecent assault, stalking, or trafficking case. Family Code Section 85.026, warning on protective orders. Now, the written admonition that you have before you is for your records. This will conclude your case. Please stand in front of our court coordinator, follow the directions of the bailiff. Once you finish following their directions, you're free to go and you have a blessed day. I said Kiva. Jefferson County Court at Law number 2 is in session in 2 cases. Both cases awesome. South State of Texas versus Patrick Kaya Stubbs. They are cause numbers 23CCCR 0100, cause number 23CCCR 0101. Ms. Stubbs, would you please raise your right hand? Stubbs, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Stubbs, you may put your hand down. Ms. Stubbs, you're represented in your cases by your Attorney Marva Provo. Attorney Provo, do you waive a record in Ms. Stubbs' cases?
Yes, we do.
Ms. Stubbs, in cause number 23CCCR 0100, I have before me a document that is titled information sheet. This information sheet was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information sheet, it alleged that you, Patrick Kaya Stubbs, on or about February 11th of 2023, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed to Class A misdemeanor offense of evading arrest detention. Ms. Stubbs, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, no contest?
Okay.
Are you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily?
Yes.
And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges?
Yes.
Ms. Stubbs, I also have before me a document that is titled misdemeanor plea admonishments. Do you recognize this document? You have to speak up.
Yes.
On page 2 of this same document, there are a set of initials, PS, on the line next to a box that's checked nola contingere, which means no contest. Did you place your initials on this document?
Yes.
On page 3 of this same document, Ms. Stubbs, there's a signature above the line that's titled defendant signature. Is this your signature? And on the next document, that's titled trial court certification of defendant's right of appeal. Do you recognize this document?
Yes.
Is this your signature on the line? It's titled defendant. At the top of this document, there are 2 boxes checked. First box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement? Second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up the right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes.
I also have a document that is titled discovery certification. Recognize this document?
Yes.
Is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes.
Stubbs, before you signed and initialed these documents, did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Yes.
Did you read and understand everything that your attorney went over?
Yes.
Is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge? Ms. Stubbs, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes.
Stay up for stage 1.
No, sir.
No objections. State's exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Ms. Provo, you've advised in counsel, Ms. Stubbs, is there any evidence that she is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Stubbs, your attorney, Ms. Provo, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with her representation?
Yes.
Has she provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes.
Ms. Stubbs, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers are freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargaining agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what is the agreement?
The offer in this case, joint concurrent with the next case, is 15 months probation with a $500 fine and 60 hours community service. Is deferred.
What's the court? Okay. 277. Ms. Provo, were you appointed in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is it 250 on this case?
Oh, I got something. Okay.
Okay, Mr. Stubbs, I mean, Ms. Stubbs, the state is offering that you serve 15 months deferred adjudication. During this 15-month probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $500. You'll be required to pay a probation fee of $277. You'll also be required to pay a probation fee of $60 a month, your analysis fee of $15 a month. You'll also be required to pay a reimbursement fee of $15, and you'll be required to reimburse Jefferson County Court appointed attorney's fees of $250. Your total monthly installments, that is the total amount that you will be required to pay each month. In this case is $155 a month. Will you be able to pay the $155 each month? You want? Okay, hold on a minute. May I see her affidavit of insurance? Thank you. Okay. Okay, the person that's on Zoom, please put your mic on mute. Thank you. Okay. Ms. Stubbs, the state is offering that you serve 15 months deferred adjudicated probation. During the 15-month probationary period, you'll be required to pay $500 plus court costs of $277. Now, the court cost and the fine will be converted to community service. So the fine and court cost is $777. So that will be converted to 62 hours of community service. The probation fee in this case will be reduced to the statutory minimum of $25 a month. You also be required to pay a urinalysis fee of $15 a month and a reimbursement fee of $15. The attorney's fees in this case will be waived pursuant to Article 26.05 of the Texas Code of Criminal Procedure. And the reason why we're doing that is because the court just happened to look at this here document. That's a document, it's an affidavit of indigence. Do you recognize that document? On page 2 of that document, there's a signature above the line at the top left-hand corner where it says defendant signature. Is that your signature?
Yes, sir.
Is everything on that document still true and correct today?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so the court is finding you indigent, and based on the finding of indigency, the fine and court costs will be converted to community service. 62 hours of community service pursuant to Article 42.15 of the Texas Code of Criminal Procedure. And the attorney's fees of $250 will be waived pursuant to Article 26.05 of the Texas Code of Criminal Procedure. And so that leaves the probation fee of $25 a month, your analysis fee of $15 a month, and the reimbursement fee of $15. And so that will be a total of $44 each month that you'll be required to pay. And you'll be able to pay that.
Yes, sir. Is
That-
it towards the $500 fee and a $200 fee? Let's go to that a month.
The $500 court $500 fine and the $275 court costs will be converted to community service.
Oh, okay. I see. So I just gotta pay the 40.
$44 a month.
Mhm.
Will you be able to pay that?
Yes, sir.
Now, this case will run concurrent with cause number 23CCCR 0101. Now, at 62 hours of community service will be in addition to the 60 hours of community service that you'll be required to perform. So it comes to a total of 122 hours of community service. Do you understand that?
Mhm.
Now, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Ms. Stubbs, I'll follow, people are in agreement that you have entered into with the state. Now, we'll move on to your next case, Ms. Stubbs. Your next case is cause number 23CCCR 0101. And in this case, I have before me a document that is titled Information Sheet that was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. And in this information sheet, it alleges that you, Patrick Kaya Stubbs, on or about February 11th of 2023, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of assault bodily injury. Ms. Stubbs, do you understand what you've been charged with? And to this charge, Ms. Stubbs, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
Are you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight
Yes, sir.
or contest the charges?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Stubbs, I also have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments. This document was also labeled as State's Exhibit Number 1. Do you recognize this document? On page 2 of the same document, there are a set of initials, PS, on the line next to boxes checked number contingent, which means no contest. Did you place your initials on this document? On page 3 of this same document, there's a signature above the line that's titled Defendant. Is this your signature? On the next document that's titled Trial Court Certification, the defendant's right of appeal. You recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
Is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes, sir.
At the top of this document, there are 2 boxes checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement? The second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement? I also have before me a document that is titled Discovery Certification. Recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
Is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant? Ms. Stubbs, before you sign and initial these documents that I just showed you, did your attorney go over these documents with you? And did you read and understand everything in these documents? Everything in these documents true, correct, to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Stubbs. Okay, State, I have before me State's Exhibit Number 1. State, any objections? No objections. State's Exhibit Number 1 will be admitted. And Ms. Provo, you advising counsel, Ms. Stubbs, in this case as well, is there any evidence that she is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial? And Ms. Stubbs, your attorney, Ms. Provo, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with representation in this case?
Yes, sir.
Has she provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Stubbs, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, did we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what is the agreement?
Like with the previous case, the offer on this case is 15 months deferred probation, fine waived in this case, and 60 hours community service with the condition of anger management.
What's the court cost in this case?
Tuesday.
$277? Okay. Okay. So that's 277. Fine. Court costs. The analysis fee. Oh, okay. It's just 277. $20. Okay, Ms. Stubbs, the state is offering that you serve 15 months deferred adjudicated probation. During the 15-month probationary period, you will not be required to pay a fine that will be waived. However, you will be required to pay court costs in this case of $277. You'll also be required, well, the probation fee and the urinalysis fee and the reimbursement fee, all of those, you will not be required to pay those fees because you are paying those in the previous case that's running concurrent to this case. The $50 attorney's fees in this case will be waived pursuant to Article 25.05 G-11. And your total monthly installments in this case will be $20 a month. Will you be able to pay the $20 each month? You'll also be required to perform 60 hours of community service. This case will run concurrent with cause number 23CCCR0100. Ms. Stubbs, do you understand the state's offer Yes,
If the $20 a month that's for the court cost, huh?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you're paying that in monthly installments. Okay, now, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Do you think that
What do I go, like,
The- they'll give all of that information to you? It's gonna be in your paperwork. And it's a map to the probation office. They will give you all of that information once you go up to the one. Now, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now, Ms. Stubbs, I'll follow the people are in agreement that you entered into with the state. Now, Ms. Stubbs, if you successfully complete the probationary periods in both of these cases, your cases will be dismissed. It will not result in a conviction on your record, and you may qualify for non-disclosure. You can talk to your attorney about the non-disclosure because she's quite competent in those matters. Okay, please stand in front of the court coordinator, follow the directions of the bailiff. Once you finish following his directions, you're free to go, and you have a blessed day. Yes, you have, salary. Mhm. Okay, let me get Mr. The second case, there was no fine, it's zero fine. And the court cost is $277 a month. The probation fee, you can put that in there, is, the probation fee is usually $25 a month, but she's not gonna have to pay it because she's on probation in the previous case. You're just gonna put it in there, they're gonna make the adjustments after. No, and the next one is I didn't waive I waived the court appointed attorney's fees of $50 pursuant to 25.05 G-11, just like in the previous case. Now, the reimbursement fee of $15, the urinalysis fee of $15 a month, and the probation fee of $25 a month, all of that is gonna be, you could put it in there, but she's not gonna be required to pay it because she's already on probation. Let me get Mr. Burbank. Mr. Burbank,
Yes, sir.
you have David Fitzgerald Frank.
Yes, sir.
Now, do we have any pleas on that? Oh, you're not ready on it? Oh, okay. She's not ready on it. You ready on who? You say Owens? I don't see a Owens. I don't have it. I see, I'm looking at it on my tablet. It's Miller. Yeah. There it is. Owens, Mark Anthony Owens. This is cause number M333164. Case is style of state of Texas versus Mark Anthony Owens. Mr. Owens, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Owens, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Owens, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Owens, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Owens? That's good. Mr. Owens, you represented in your case by your attorney, Attorney Marvel Provo. Attorney Provo, do you waive a record in Mr. Owens' case? Mr. Owens, I have before me a document that is titled information. This information was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information, it alleges that you, Mark Anthony Owens, on or about January 1st of 2021, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class B misdemeanor offense of driving while intoxicated while you were operating a motor vehicle in a public place. Mr. Owens, do you understand what you have been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge, Mr. Owens, how did you plead? Guilty, not guilty, no contest?
No contest.
Are you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily?
Yes,
And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges?
yes,
Mr. Owens, I also have before me a document that is titled misdemeanor plea admonishments. You recognize this document?
yes, sir.
On page 2 of the same document, there are a set of initials. On the line next to a box that check no contest or no contingent, which means no contest. You place your initials on this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 3 of the same document, there is a signature above the line that is titled defendant. Is this your signature?
Yes, sir.
On the next document that's titled trial court certification of defendant's right of appeal, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
Is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
At the top of this document, there are 2 boxes checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. You understand that
Yes, sir.
statement? Second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes.
I also have before me a document that is titled discovery certification. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
Is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Owens, before you signed and initialed these documents that I just showed you, did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
Yes, sir.
Is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Owens, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes, sir.
State, I have before me State's Exhibit number 1. State, would you like to offer State's Exhibit number 1 in evidence? Any objections? No objection. State's Exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Ms. Provo, you advising counsel, Mr. Owens, is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial? Mr. Owens, your attorney, Ms. Provo, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has she provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Owens, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
We do, Judge.
And what is the agreement?
In exchange for the defendant's plea of no contest, the state has offered 90 over 1 year probation. There will be no fine in this case due to the defendant pleading in felony court with a large fine. 60 hours of community service, court costs, DWI education. There will be no interlock and court costs.
Okay, what is the 329? And Ms. Provo, you were appointed in this case.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Owens, the state is offering that you serve 90 days in Jefferson County Jail. However, you'll not be required to serve any time in the Jefferson County Jail in this case because you'll be placed on probation for 1 year. During the 1 year probationary period, you will not be required to pay a fine. That fine will be waived. You will be required to pay court costs in the amount of $329. You'll be required to pay probation fee of $6 a month a urinalysis fee of $15 a month, a reimbursement fee of $15. And you'll be required to pay Jefferson County, you'll be required to reimburse Jefferson County Code upon attorney's fees of $250. Your total, now, the fine, well, the probation fee, the urinalysis fee, and the reimbursement fee, because you're already on probation for a felony case, you won't be required to pay that in this case. However, it's gonna show in your paperwork that you are required to pay it, but you will not because they run it concurrent, and so you paid it in one case, you won't have to pay it in the second case. Therefore, your total monthly installments in this case will be $136 a month. Now it's gonna, your probation officer will tell you that when you show the paperwork. You probably will have the same probation officer.
That's $300 I have to pay a month.
$136
I'm
a
paying
month.
$150 already.
Right. It would have been higher than that,
All right.
if we didn't take into consideration that you are on, probation.
Okay.
Okay, so you're paying the court costs of $329, and you're paying the attorney's fees of $250. Now, the total amount is $136 a month. Will you be able to pay the $136 a month?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You will also be required to perform 60 hours of community service. You'll be required to attend and complete a DWI education class, and you'll be required to participate and complete the DWI intervention. Mr. Owens, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes.
Mr. Owens, all the people are in agreement that you have entered into with the state. Gonna stand in front of the court coordinator, follow the directions of the bailiff. Once you finish following the bailiff's directions, you'll be free to go. And you have a blessed day. And let's see, you have
I have one case.
okay, is it a plea?
No.
Okay, Ms. Solari, would you please come forward? Cameron Solari. This is cause number M331640, case of Style State of Texas versus Cameron Solari. Ms. Solari, is that your full name? How you doing, Ms. Solari? I'm doing fine, thanks for asking. Ms. Solari, are you representing your case by your attorney, Attorney Provo? And Attorney Provo, what is your announcement in Ms. Solari's case?
The state has actually submitted dismissal in this case
Oh, it's-
based on
it's-
information put forward by the defendants.
Oh, it's being dismissed?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, I don't have that yet. Okay, Ms. Solari, just have a seat. Your case is going to be dismissed. Once I sign the dismissal, your attorney will get a copy of the dismissal, give it to you. Once you get the dismissal, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day.
No, I do see them.
You want a copy of the dismissal?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, yeah. Oh, here it is, right? I'm gonna sign it right now. Erica, she must be in the back. Okay. I just signed the dismissal. We have. You have anybody else? I thought, what about Mr.? Oh, you working on it? Okay, you said, I actually had it. Okay, the person that's on Zoom, that has Zoom user, would you please, state, you could take your mic off of mute and state your name? Please state your full name.
Carlos Jose.
Mr. Gilthorpe, is this? Okay, is not here at the moment. He was here earlier. Please put the mic back on mute, and when he shows up, we'll call you your case again. Okay. So he has some felony cases too?
Yes, sir.
Okay. When is his felony cases reset?
July 11th.
July 11th?
Yes, sir.
Okay, State, you want these cases, some of these cases or any of these cases arise out of the same criminal episode? They do? Okay. July 11th, so these cases will be reset to July 11th as well. Okay? July 11th, Mr. Andrew Lakey, he has felony cases. Okay, Mr. Lakey, your attorney gonna get your resets. Once you get your reset, you're free to go. You have a blessed day.
Yes, sir.
Here, somebody had one, that's what I was thinking. I thought it was up there. But I thought, somebody got some, was that last week? Week before last? Somebody, I wanna say it was either Trina or somebody. They're not up here?
I don't know. Must be open.
Yeah, it's either here. one of the two places. Himmler, Reverend Jackson, he's in the back. Did you, you still waiting on your dismissal? That's already, should have printed off. It was a dismissal on, Solari. I signed it. Okay, we have one on, how many cases we have on Frank? One plea and one, okay, this is a plea. Hmm? Mr. Gilthoff is on Zoom. Okay. This is cause number 24 CCCR 0478 case of South State of Texas versus Carlos Jose. Mr. Jose is appearing via Zoom. His attorney is also appearing via Zoom. State. Mr. Jose, how are you doing?
I'm doing good.
And Mr. Gilthoff, how are you doing?
Doing well, Judge.
That's good. Now, Mr. Gilthoff, what is your announcement in Mr. Jose's case?
Judge, we're applying for pretrial diversion on that case, and so we'd ask for time to get a response.
Okay, last one is
I think the next Sunday date is
June.
so next week, the week after.
Okay, just give us a reset on Carlos Jose.
So what?
It's going to be on the announcement document. He's applying for pretrial diversion.
When is he signing
Have y'all already signed up?
We have not, Judge. We just got our discovery we completed, and we, after reviewing the discovery, we believe he's a candidate for pretrial. And she has not been approved for pretrial. We're applying for pretrial.
And so we're going to reset it. The next date is coming up in June. We know he's
Not going to make that one.
we're going to set it for we're going to anticipate that he might make the next one, which is in August.
Okay.
Yes, hold on a minute.
I was outside the courtroom, it's my case. So I just wanted to say that I believe that there's a felony evading from the same events of this case. So, I mean, he's more than welcome to apply for pretrial, but given that fact, I don't know that he'll proceed it.
Okay.
Judge, we've evaluated that. We believe that the felony associated with these facts will be disposed of, and he will then qualify for pretrial.
Okay. Give us a date, August, second weekend, August.
You want to fill on a Wednesday on a Monday?
Either one. Wednesday would be fine.
We could put it August 14th.
Okay, this case will be reset to August 14th, 2024. Mr. Gilthoff, your reset will be sent to you. Mr. Jose, whose phone is that? You gotta turn your phones off. Okay, your reset will be sent to you, Mr. Jose, and Mr. Gilthoff, your reset. No, well, Mr. Gilthoff, your reset will be sent to you and Mr. Jose. Your attorney and your bondsman will be getting notice of the reset. Once you get, you need to stay in contact with your attorney and your bondsman. Your case has been reset to August 14th of 2024. And you need to be here in court on that date, August 14th, 2024. You're free to go. You have a blessed day. Mr. Gilthoff, you're free to go as well, and you have a blessed day.
Thank you.
Mr. David Frank.
I'm not gonna give it to him. I'll let you do it. He has to sign.
I think it's my birthday's coming up.
No, no.
Jefferson County Court at Law number 2, back in session. The court is in session in 2 cases. Both cases are South State of Texas versus David Fitzgerald Frank. The cause numbers are cause number M332940 and cause number M332942. Mr. Frank, your full name is David Fitzgerald Frank? Frank, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Frank, do you swear or affirm, tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Mr. Frank, you may put your hand down. Mr. Frank, how are you doing? You doing all right?
Yes,
Mr. Frank, you're represented in your cases by your attorney Tom Burbank. Attorney Burbank, how are you doing?
I'm getting old, Judge. I'm doing fine now.
Okay. Mr. Burbank, do you waive a record in Mr. Frank's cases?
We do.
Mr. Frank, in cause number M332940, I have before me a document that is titled Information. This information was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information, Mr. Frank, it alleges that you, David Fitzgerald Frank, on or about February 22nd of February 4th of 2022, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, operating a motor vehicle in a public place, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of driving while intoxicated with alcohol concentration level of 0.15 or more. Mr. Frank, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge, Mr. Frank, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? Are you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily?
Yes.
And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charge? Neither. It should check off the Class A misdemeanor box and erase this.
Is it an A?
Yeah, 0.15 or more is a Class A.
You lied to me.
So you had discovery.
It started out in a Class B and now it's ended up as an A over time.
Over 1.15, you're getting old.
Yeah, yeah, you kind of check between boxes
Yeah.
too. Erase,
Oh, it's not.
yeah, it's like between A and B, it's not in a box.
Your eyes are going blurry.
I think you're right.
also did not check. Oh, somebody checked it.
Okay,
There you go, Judge.
okay, thank you. Okay, now, Mr. Fitzgerald, I have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishment, it's also labeled States Exhibit 1. You recognize this document? On page 2 of this same document, there are 2 sets of initials. One set is your attorney's initials and the other set, that must be DF. You place your initials on the line that's next to the box that's checked. No contingent, which means no contest. On page 3 of the same document, there's a signature above the line that's titled Defendant. Is this your signature?
Yes, sir.
On the next document, that's titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, do you recognize this document?
Yes,
Is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant?
yes, sir.
At the top of this document, there are 2 boxes checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargaining case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement? The second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement? I also have before me a document that is titled Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document? Is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant? Mr. Frank, before you signed and initialed these documents, did your attorney go over these documents with you? And did you read and understand everything that he went over?
Yes, sir.
Is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Frank, are you a citizen? Hold on, that goes on the back of the list. Are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes.
State, I have before me State's Exhibit number 1. State, would you like to offer State's Exhibit number 1 in evidence?
Yes, Judge.
No objection, statements one, Judge.
No objection. State's exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Mr. Burbank, you advising counsel, Mr. Frank, is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Frank, your attorney, Mr. Burbank, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Frank, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea waivers were freely and voluntarily given. I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargaining agreement?
We do, Judge.
And what is the agreement?
In exchange for the defendant's plea of no contest, the state has offered 90 over 1 year probation, $750 fine, 80 hours community service, court costs, UWI education, and interlock. We're also going to dismiss cause number N332942 with forfeiture with it.
He is currently on felony probation, Judge.
Okay. Were you appointed in this case?
No, I was retained.
Okay. What's the court cause? Three 377. Okay. Mr. Frank, the state is offering that you serve 90 days in Jefferson County Jail. However, you will not be required to serve any time in Jefferson County Jail on this case. You will be required to pay a fine of $750 plus court costs of $377. You will also be required to pay a DPS fine of $100. You'll be required to pay a probation fee of $6 a month. You're now to pay $15 a month reimbursement fee of $15. Now, your paperwork is going to show that your monthly installments is $194 a month. However, because you're already on probation, the probation fee, the urinalysis fee, and the reimbursement fee, they would not require you to pay that because you're already paying it in the felony case. So therefore, your probation fee each month will probably be $112 a month. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Now, will you be able to pay that?
Yes, sir.
You will also be required to perform 80 hours of community service, attend and complete a DWI education class, have an alcohol assessment. You'll be required to install an interlock device on any vehicle that you own or operate. And the state will be dismissing cause number M332942 for forfeiture of the weapon. In that case, and I have before me a document that is titled Motion to Forfeit and cause number M332942. Mr. Frank, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
Is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Frank, before you signed this document, did your attorney go over this document with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you read and understand everything in this document?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in this document true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you're asking the court to forfeit this weapon to the Grove Police Department.
Yes, sir.
And you're asking the court to grant this motion. Is that correct? The court is granting the motion to forfeit the weapon, in this case, to the Grove Police Department. Mr. Frank, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
And do you think that the state's offer in this case is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Frank, I'll follow the bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. And Mr. Frank, this will conclude your case. You're gonna stand in front of the court coordinator, follow her directions, you're gonna follow directions of the bailiff. Once you finish following their directions, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day. And Mr. Burbank, I think these are your only two cases. You're free to go as well and you have a blessed day.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a good day.
Thank you.
You too.
You got Matthews and Mays Wills. Yeah. Now, Turner's not here. DeAndre Matthews. Mr. Lodge.
Oh, okay. Very good.
This is cause number 23CCCR 1862. Case is style of state of Texas versus DeAndre C. Matthews. Mr. Matthews, is that your full name? Mr. Matthews, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Matthews, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Mr. Matthews, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Matthews? I'm doing fine, thanks for asking. Mr. Matthews, you're represented in your case by your attorney, Attorney Jennifer DeLodge. Mr. Lodge, how are you doing?
Great, thank you, Your Honor.
And Mr. Lodge, do you waive a record in Mr. Matthews' case?
Yes, Your
Mr. Matthews, I have before me a document that is titled Information Sheet. This information sheet was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information sheet, it alleges that you, DeAndre C. Matthews, on or about July 18th of 2023, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed to Class A misdemeanor offense of resisting arrest. Mr. Matthews, do you understand what you have been charged with? To this charge, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or not contest? Are you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily? And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges? Matthews, I also have before me a document that is titled misdemeanor plea admonishment. It is also labeled as State's Exhibit number 1. Do you recognize this document? On page, you have to say yes or no.
Yes, sir.
Okay. On page 2 of this same document, there are a set of initials DM on the line next to a box that's checked. NOLA contingent, which means no contest. Did you place your initials on this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 3 of the same document, there's a signature above the line that is titled defendant. Is this your signature? And on the next document, that's titled trial court certification of defendant's right of appeal. Do you recognize this document?
Yes,
And this is your signature on the line that's titled defendant.
yes, sir.
At the top of this document, there are 2 boxes checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement? The second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement? I also have a document before me that is titled discovery certification. You recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
Is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes.
Mr. Matthews, before you sign and initial these documents, did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you read and understand everything that your attorney went over?
Yes, sir.
Is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Matthews, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes, sir.
Stay up for 6-1.
Any objections?
No objection.
No objection. State's Exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Mr. Lodge, you have advised and counseled Mr. Matthews. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Matthews, your attorney, Mr. Lodge, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with her representation?
Yes, sir.
Has she provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Matthews, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally incompetent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
What is the agreement?
State's offer is 75 days time served on this case. Court calls Saxon retired.
Mr. Matthews, the state is offering that you serve 75 days in Jefferson County Jail. You have already served 75 days in Jefferson County Jail. Therefore, you will not be required to serve any more time in the Jefferson County Jail in this case. The court costs in this case will be taxed and retired. That means that you will not be required to pay the court costs because the time that you have spent in jail has already paid off the court costs. Therefore, the court costs will be taxed and retired. Mr. Matthews, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Matthews, I follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Matthews, this will conclude your case. You're going to stand in front of our court coordinator, follow the directions of the bailiff. Once you finish following their directions, you're free to go and you have a blessed day. Hey, Mr. Lodge, this is your only case. You're free to go as well and you have a blessed day.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr.
Facebook.
Yeah.
John.
John Miller.
John.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Talking about my hand.
And it does not get better on tablet either.
Okay, who else do we have? So you're working on, which one you working on?
You will not.
Mueller? You working on Mueller? Wait, it says M-U-L-L, Mueller? Okay, okay, she's working on that. And what about Blewett? Well, I can call who up? Mueller?
I believe she's sitting right outside.
Mark, okay. Jefferson County Court Alert number 2 is in session and calls number 23CCCR 1834. Case is styled State of Texas versus Margot. Is that Muller or Mueller? How you pronounce it?
That's my old name.
Okay, how do you pronounce your old name?
Well,
Muller? Okay. Now, Miss Muller, would you please raise your right hand? You swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Miss Muller, you may put your hand down. Would you please hand Miss Muller some tissues, if you don't mind? Hey, Miss Muller, how are you doing? How are you doing?
not good.
You're not good? I mean, is it an illness, a sickness?
This case.
Oh, okay. Now, Miss Muller, your attorney in this case is Attorney Marcus Wilkerson. Attorney Wilkerson, how are you doing?
I'm doing better than I have been, Judge, every
Okay.
day.
Now, Mr. Wilkerson, you waive a record in Miss Muller's case?
Yes, Your Honor, we did.
Okay. Ms. Muller, I have before me a document that is titled Information Sheet. This information sheet was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information sheet, it alleges that you, Margot Muller, on or about August 12th of 2023, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class B misdemeanor offense of criminal trespass. Ms. Muller, do you understand what you've been charged with? And to this charge, how do you plead guilty, not guilty, or no contest? Are you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily? And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest your charges? Ms. Muller, I also have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea of Minors, which is also labeled as State's Exhibit Number 1. Do you recognize this document? On page 2 of this same document, there are a set of initials on a line next to a box that check no contendere, which means no contest. Would you place your initials on this document? And on the next page of the same document, there's a signature above the line that is titled Defendant. Is this your signature? On the next document that's titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, do you recognize this document? And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant? At the top of this document, there are 2 boxes checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement? At the second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement? I also have a document before me that is on paper that is titled Discovery Certification. You recognize this document? Is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant?
Yeah.
Now, Ms. Muller, before you signed and initialed these documents, did your attorney go over these documents with you? And did you read and understand everything that your attorney went over? Is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge? Ms. Muller, are you a citizen of the United States?
There for stage 1.
Any objections?
No objection.
No objection. State's Exhibit Number 1 will be admitted. Mr. Wilkerson, you've advised that counsel, Ms. Muller, is there any evidence that she is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
And Ms. Muller, your attorney, Mr. Wilkerson, has advised that counsel judge satisfied this representation. Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation? Okay, Ms. Muller, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what is the agreement?
For plea of no contest, the state has offered 1 year deferred probation with a $300 fine and 40 hours community service. Defendant will have no contact with the complaining witness, John Muller Sr.
He's the third. He's not a senior.
My apologies.
in the information, it says John Muller Jr. What's in the information? Let's see, see, how many hours is 40 hours of community service?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes.
Were you appointed in this case,
Yes,
Mr.
Your Honor.
Wilkerson? And what's the court cost? Okay, Ms. Muller. The state is offering that you serve 1 year deferred adjudicated probation. During the 1 year probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $300, and you'll also be required to pay a probation fee, excuse me, you'll be required to pay court costs, excuse me, of $277. You'll be required to pay a probation fee of $60 a month, your analysis fee of $15 a month, reimbursement fee of $15. And you'll be required to reimburse Jefferson County court-appointed attorney's fees of $250 of total monthly installments. That is a total amount that you will be required to pay each month is $158 a month. Would you be able to pay the $158 each month? Okay. Give me a copy of her affidavit of injuries. Okay. Okay. Ms. Muller. The state is offering that you serve 1 year deferred adjudicated probation. During the 1 year probationary period, you're required to pay a fine of $300 plus court costs of $277. Now, the fine and court costs totals $577. That will be converted to 46 hours of community service. The probation fee of $60 a month will be reduced to the statutory minimum of $25 a month. And you'll be required to pay a reimbursement fee of $15 a month and a $15 a month urinalysis fee. The attorney's fees of $250 will be waived. Let's do this here. Now, let me get this to you. I was looking at your affidavit of injuries. Mr. Wilkerson, could you hand that to your client? Ms. Muller, do you recognize that document? On page 2 of that same document, at the top left-hand corner, there's a signature above the line that is titled defendant's signature. Is that your signature? Is everything on that document still true and correct today? Okay. Now, Ms. Muller, the court is going to find that you are indigent. And basically that means that you cannot afford to pay the fees. And so the court is going to find that you're indigent, and based on the finding of indigency, the fine and court costs of $277 will be converted to 46 hours of community service. The probation fee will reduce to the statutory minimum of $25 a month. You'll be required to pay $15 a month for the urinalysis fee and $15 just for the reimbursement fee. That comes to a total of $45 each month. Will you be able to pay the $45 each month? Well, and you just need you'll be able to pay it? Okay. Now, the attorney's fees of $250 will be waived pursuant to Article 26.05 G-11 of the Texas Code of Criminal Procedure. And Ms. Muller, you will also be required to perform 40 hours of community service. Now, the 40 hours in it is in addition to the 46 hours that was converted from fine and court costs. So it comes to a total of 86 hours of community service. You cannot have any contact with John Miller Jr. You also will be required to adhere to the other standard terms and conditions of this probation. Now, Ms. Muller, do you understand the state's offer? You think that the state's offer with the court's finding is fair and just? Okay. Now, Ms. Muller, do you accept the state's offer? Okay, I'll follow the plea bargaining agreement that you have entered into with the state. This will conclude your case. If you successfully complete this probationary period, this case will not result in a conviction on your record, and you may qualify for a non-disclosure. You can talk to your attorney, Mr. Wilkerson, about the non-disclosure because he's quite confident in those matters. Now, Ms. Muller, you're going to stand in front of the court coordinator, follow the directions of the bailiff. Once you finish following the directions of the bailiff, you're free to go, and you have a blessed day. Next case is cause number 23CCCR 0588. Case is styled the state of Texas versus Reginald Blewett. Mr. Blewett. Your full name is Reginald Blewett. Ms. Blewett, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Blewett, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God? Okay, Mr. Blewett, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Blewett? Okay, that's good. This is Mr. Blewett. Have I ever represented you as an attorney in the case?
No, so I don't think so.
Okay, you just look like somebody that, you look familiar. Okay, now, Mr. Blewett, I have before me a document that is titled, information sheet. This information sheet was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information sheet, it alleges that you, Reginald Blewett, on or about April 1st of 2023, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offensive assault. You understand what you've been charged with? To this charge, Mr. Blewett, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, no contest? No contest? Now, are you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily? And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges? Mr. Blewett, I also have before me a document that is titled misdemeanor plea admonishments. Mr. Blewett, do you recognize this document? On page 2 of the same document, there's a set of initials, I guess it's RBB on the line next to the box that's checked no look condensate, which means no contest. Did you place your initials on this document? On page 3 of the same document, there's a signature above the line that's titled defendant. Is this your signature? And on the next document, there's titled trial court certification of defendant's right of appeal. Do you recognize this document? And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant? At the top of this document, there are 2 boxes checked. The first box is checked, states that this is a plea bargain case and you have the right of appeal. Do you understand that statement? Second box is checked, states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up the right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement? I also have another document before me on paper that's titled Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document? Is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant? Mr. Blewett, before you signed and initialed these documents, did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you read and understand everything that he went over? And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge? Mr. Blewett, are you a citizen of the United States? State?
Stay up for 6-1.
Any objection? No objection. State's exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Mr. Wilkerson, you've advised and counseled Mr. Blewett. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Blewett, the attorney, Mr. Wilkerson, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation? Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes.
Mr. Blewett, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what is the agreement?
For plea of no contest, the state has offered 90 days probated over 18 months with a $500 fine, 50 hours community service, and no contact with the complainant witness, Patrick West.
You say no community service? That's right, it's waived? I see here with a 0 in it. What is the community service? Is that community service?
No, Your Honor, I believe it was waived in accordance with some programs that Mr. Blewett had participated in accordance with some conditions of bond that included right choice and AA meetings and things of that nature.
Oh, is that correct?
We can go both, please.
Okay, no, okay, so you were waiving the community service, is that correct? Okay, now, let's see, no contact. With. Is that Patrick West?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Wilkerson, were you appointed in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
What's the court cost? There's a 277. Okay, 277. Okay. Mr. Blewett, the state is offering that you serve 90 days in Jefferson County Jail. However, you're not required to serve any time in the Jefferson County Jail on this case because you'll be placed on probation for a period of 18 months. During the 18-month probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $500 plus court costs of $277. You'll be required to pay a probation fee of $60 a month, UNICEF fee $15 a month, reimbursement fee of $15, and you'll be required to reimburse Jefferson County the $250 quarter point of attorney's fees. Your total monthly installments, that is, the total amount that you will be required to pay each month is $133 a month. Will you be able to pay the $133 each month? You will also be, the court costs in this case will be waived. You cannot have any contact with the complainant witness, Patrick West. You will also be required to adhere to the other standard terms and condition of your probation. Mr. Blewett, do you understand the state's offer? Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just? And do you accept the state's offer? Mr. Blewett, I follow plea bargaining agreement that you have entered into the state. Mr. Blewett, this will conclude your case. Mr. Blewett, you're gonna stand in front of our court coordinator, follow directions of the bailiff. Once you finish following the directions of the bailiff, you'll be free to go, and you have a blessed day. And Mr. Wilkerson, I think this is your last case.
Yes, Your Honor.
You're free to go as well, and you have a blessed day.
Thank you, Judge.
Hold on a minute. This is cause number 24 CCCR 1186, case of style. The state of Texas versus, is that Justicia?
Yes, sir.
Justicia Royette Mays Wiltz?
Yes.
Ms. Mays Wiltz, would you please raise your right hand? You swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
So help you God. Let me see, it's a 20-hour. I have to put that in there. Okay. First one, 21. That's a forfeiture of limitations. Okay, now, Jefferson County, did I swear you in?
Yes.
Okay, Ms. Mays Wills, I have before me a document that is titled information. This information was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office on May 6th of 2024. In this document, it alleges that you, Justicia Renette Mays Wills, owner about February 1st of 2021, that you committed the Class B misdemeanor offense of obstructing a highway passageway. Now, do you understand what you've been charged with? Okay. Now, Ms. Mays Wills, to this charge, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Okay.
Are you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily? And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges? Now, Ms. Wills, I also have before me Ms. Wills, you are represented in your case by your attorney, Attorney Langston Adams. Attorney Adams, do you waive a record in Ms. Wills' case?
Yes, I do.
Okay, and Ms. Wills, I also have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments. Do you recognize this document? Now, Ms. Mays Wills, on page 2 of this same document, there are a set of initials on a line that's next to a box that's checked nola contingent, which means no contest. So these are your initials. Now you'll notice some writing at the top of this document. Now, Ms. Wills, your charge is a Class B misdemeanor, and the offense allegedly occurred on about February 1st of 2021. And as I mentioned earlier to you, the state filed this case on May 6th of 2024, which means that it was beyond the statute of limitations. And you have a statute of limitations defense. Now, in this document, pursuant to the case of ex parte Eric Michael Hellman, as 456 Southwest 3rd 521, the defendant has a right to forfeit his or her limitations defense to a particular charge if the statute of limitations has run. Okay, now, Mr. Adams, does your client forfeit or statute of limitations defense in this case?
Yes.
Okay, now, Ms. Wilkes, I have before me in handwriting, it states that forfeiture limitations defense comes now defendant adjourned by my attorney and states that I understand I have a statute of limitations defense in the foregoing case on the foregoing cause, but I forfeit the limitations defense as part of the plea agreement. Is that correct? Okay. Now, let me do this here. I'm gonna get you, Mr. Adams. Does your client have your permission to initial the paragraph that I wrote in?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Now on page 3 of the same document, there are a set of initials. Excuse me, there's a signature rather on above the line that is titled defendant. Is this your signature? And I have another document that's titled trial court certification to defendant's right of appeal. You recognize this document?
Yes.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes.
Now here, at the top of this document, there's one box that's checked. The box says check states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes.
I also have a document before me that is titled waiver of, excuse me, that's titled discovery certification. You recognize this document?
Yes.
And is this your signature on the line that is titled defendant?
Yes.
I also have a document that is titled joint request for plea and or sentencing by video conference under the TCCP, which means Texas Code of Criminal Procedure, Article 27.18. Do you recognize this document?
Yes.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes.
Now before you signed and initialed all of these documents that I just showed you, did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Yes.
And did you understand everything that your attorney went over?
Yes.
And is everything in these documents true and correct
Yes.
to the best of your knowledge? Ms. Mays Wilson, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes. State offer states one.
Now, state is offering states exhibit number 1. Mr. Adams, do you have any objections?
No objections.
No objections. States exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Mr. Adams, you advised and counsel Ms. Mays Wilson. Is there any evidence that she is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No evidence she's incompetent.
And Mr. Mays Wilson, your attorney, Mr. Adams, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation? Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation? Ms. Mays Wilson, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what is the agreement?
In exchange for defendant's plea of no contest, the state's offering 6 months deferred, the fine is to be waived, and 24 hours community service.
Fine, wait, you say 24 hours of community service?
Yes, Your Honor.
No fine. Okay, what's the court cost in this case? $277. Okay. Ms. Mays Wilson, the state is offering that you serve 6 months deferred adjudicated probation during the 6-month probationary period. You will not be required to pay a fine. The fine will be waived. However, you will be required to pay court costs of $277. You'll be required to pay a probation fee of $60 a month, a urinalysis fee of $15 a month, a reimbursement, hold on a minute. Yeah, a reimbursement fee of $15. Your total monthly installment, that is the total amount that you will be required to pay each month while you're on probation, is $148 a month. Will you be able to pay the $148 each month? You will also be required to perform 24 hours of community service And the state will be dismissing clause number 23DCCR0678. Is that correct, state?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Mays Wilkes, do you understand the state's offer? Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir. But let me make sure I'm clear. So that 148 is like every month.
148, yeah, you're on probation for 6 months. It's $148 each month.
Yes, sir. I was just making sure.
Okay. Now, Ms. Wilkes, Mays Wilkes, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
You think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just? Do you accept the state's offer? Now, Ms. Mays Wilkes, if you successfully complete this probationary period, this case will be dismissed. It will not result in a conviction on your record, and you may qualify for a non-disclosure. You can talk to your attorney about the non-disclosure because he's quite competent in those matters. Now, Ms. Mays Wilkes, you're gonna stand in front of our court coordinator, and you're gonna follow the directions of the bailiff. Once you finish following the directions of the bailiff, you'll be free to go, and you have a blessed day. And Mr. Adams, you have another case. This case is cause number M332952. Case is styled the state of Texas versus Andre Size. Size, would you please come forward?
This one.
Okay, Mr. Size, your full name is Andre Size?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Size, you're represented by your attorney Langston Adams. Attorney Adams, what's your announcement in Mr. Size's case?
Mr. Sias has informed me that he wants a trial.
Okay, we're gonna reset it for trial. What's the trial date?
July 8th.
What's that date?
July 8th.
July 8th. Okay, Mr. Size. The case is set for July 8th, 2024. Once you get your reset, you'll be free to go. You have a blessed day. And Mr. Langston Adams,
Yes, sir.
you're free to go as well, and you have a blessed day.
Okay, you too.
But it's here for a reset.
I think you did ask for caution.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so that's Clifford Sanders.
I was lying.
I'm alive.
Did you already tell me? I don't even know.
Mr. Sanders could come up here. Jefferson County Court at Law number 2 is back in session. The court is in session and calls number 23CCCR1026. Case is styled the state of Texas versus Clifford Sanders. Mr. Sanders, is that your full name? Mr. Sanders, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Sanders, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Mr. Sanders, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Sanders? I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Sanders, you're represented in your case by your attorney, Attorney Brevin Jackson. Attorney Jackson, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, Judge. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Jackson, do you waive a record?
Yes,
In
Your
Mr. Sanders' case, Mr. Sanders, I have before me a document that is titled Information. This information was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information, it alleges that you, Clifford Sanders, on or about June 3rd of 2023, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of criminal mischief. Mr. Sanders, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge, how did you plead? Guilty, not guilty, no contest.
Yes,
Are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
yes, sir.
And are you pleading guilty because you are guilty?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Sanders, I also have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 2 of this same document, there are a set of initials. Like this signature. There's a signature on a line that is titled guilty. Is this your signature? On page 3 of this same document, there's a signature above the line that is titled defendant. Is this your signature?
Yes, sir.
And on the next document, that's titled trial court certification of defendant's right of appeal. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this also your signature?
Yes, sir.
At the top of this document, there are 2 boxes checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case. You have no right of appeal. You understand that statement?
Yes, sir.
Second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes, sir.
I also have before me a document that is titled Discovery Certification. You recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
Is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
Sanders, before you signed and initialed these documents, did your attorney go over these documents with you? And did you understand everything that your attorney went over?
Yes, sir.
Is everything in these documents true and correct
Yes,
to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Sanders, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes, sir.
State offers states one.
Any
No
objections? No objection. States exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Mr. Jackson, you advised and counseled Mr. Sanders. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Sanders, your attorney, Mr. Jackson has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Sanders, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your pleading waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
What is the agreement?
In exchange for defendant's plea of guilty, the state's offering 45 days in the Jefferson County Jail with credit for 45 days into tax and retired court cost.
Okay, Mr. Sanders, the state is offering that you serve 45 days in Jefferson County Jail. However, you will not be required to serve any more time in the Jefferson County Jail. In this case, because you already served 45 days in Jefferson County Jail. Therefore, you'll be given credit for the time that you've already served. Court costs in this case will be taxed and retired. That simply means that you will not be required to pay the court costs because the time that you spent in jail has already paid it off. Mr. Sanders, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
You think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Sanders, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you've entered into with the state. Mr. Sanders, this will conclude your case. Mr. Sanders, please stand in front of our court coordinator, follow the directions of the bailiff. Once you finish following the directions of the bailiff, you can follow the bailiff, and you have a blessed day.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay,
Thank you, Judge.
oh, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Okay. We have any file forfeitures? Okay, this will conclude the calling of the court's announcement docket. Docket set on today's date, May 29th, 2024, in County Court at Law Number 2 of Jefferson County, Texas. Judge Terrence Holmes presiding. Everyone, please have a blessed day.